opportunities to learn and to network from inspirational people is next level. I mean, the speakers you guys have here are ridiculous.
If you're a content marketer in 2023 and you don't have Content Marketing World on your list, you need to put it on your list immediately.
Sorry about that, folks. It's Amanda with the Content Marketing Institute. I'm messing around here back behind the scenes, so I cut our promo short. Sorry about that. So thank you for joining me for this Ask the CM World Community Livestream, where each time we dive into a new topic with an awesome member of our CM World community. So today we are talking about 3 AI tools you haven't heard of that can make your life a little easier, or at least I hope it makes it a little bit easier. So today's live stream, if you don't know, is brought to you by the Content Marketing Institute. We are the leading training and education organization for all things content marketing. You can head over to contentmarketinginstitute.com to see all kinds of resources and educational content that we have up there. And if you haven't heard yet, our registration is officially open for our signature event, Content Marketing World. And this year it will be in Washington, D.C., September 26th through the 29th. And you can head on over to contentmarketingworld.com to learn more. And if you register now, you can snag those super early bird rates. And we hope to see you in DC in September. All right, folks. So I have a confession to make. Just like everyone else here, I've been seeing all the frenzy over all AI, right? Over ChatGPT. I've read about it. I've watched presentations. I see everything about it, but I actually have not tried it out yet. I haven't tried out any AI tools, but when we decided to do this live stream, I had to, of course, check out the 3 tools that we are going to talk about today. And guess what? They are pretty amazing. And the possibilities for marketers, it's pretty eye-opening. So I can't wait to share those tools with you today. And as always, when you join me today, please give me a virtual wave, say hello, let me know where you're joining me from. As always, if you ask questions and make comments, it makes for a more engaging live stream, and we love to hear from all of you. And so today I'm going to kick it off as usual with our question of the day. We all want to know, like, what are some of the AI tools that you've been experimenting with? How do you like them? Are there any that you're actually incorporating into your workflow already? Making everyday tasks a little easier? How are you using them? What are you using? We want to hear from you. I'm curious. I'm sure everyone else is curious to see what is working for some of you. All right. I see some of you checking in already. Andy, our faithful follower, is here, and she's having her lunch salad ready. Good. I wish I had a salad right now, Andy. Alyssa is joining us from Maryland. Marcella from Romania. A user from France. So hello, I don't see your name on there, so I'm so sorry. But thank you all. Again, let us know if you're experimenting with AI tools. We would love to hear about them. Okay, so maybe you're like me and you haven't been brave enough to check out these AI tools everyone is talking about. Maybe you don't even think you need to. I mean, that's kind of my thing, was like, do I really need this ChatGPT? Like, how's it really going to help me? Or maybe you've checked out a few and they aren't quite what you're looking for, or they're not the right fit. Well, I'm hoping that we can show you 3 tools today to make your life a little easier. And joining me to chat about this today is Mike Kaput. He is the Chief Content Officer, there we go, for the Marketing AI Institute. He is also the co-author of the book, Artificial Intelligence, AI Marketing and the Future of Business. Mike, I know you were so busy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Amanda.
We have people joining us from all over. We have Crystal from Belgium, Zoe from Barcelona. We have, Vicky says, I'm loving ChatGPT. Andy has used ChatGPT, Dolly, and a lot of AI plugins on tools I already use, like Norton and Canva. We have Jose from Brazil. We have Terry from Portugal. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As I said, the question of the day, Mike and I both want to see what kind of tools you guys are using. Nick says, we've been using ChatGPT for processes and procedure brainstorming, and also for brainstorming unbiased marketing strategies. Pretty amazing stuff. All right, Mike. So I had Paul Ratzer, who co-wrote the book with you. Let me pop it up here. I have a picture of it up here. So I had him on last summer to talk about the book came out, and we were talking about it. And here we are 9 months later, and boy, have things changed, right? I know that you two, knew that this was coming, but are you surprised by how quickly the release of some of these tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E has changed the game for marketers? I mean, are you surprised by all this crazy frenzy over AI?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because as much as we try to make, at least near future predictions about where this stuff is going, it's always pretty stunning to see it come true. And I think ChatGPT was really the game changer that started showing everyone this almost magical ability that some of these tools have to create content, to create strategies, to think for themselves. So yeah, I would say pleasantly surprised by how fast things have come to pass. But man, it has not always played out how people far, far smarter than us have predicted. Even, the people building this stuff did not, I don't think a lot of them thought that things like creativity and writing and content would necessarily be something that AI could do at a very, very high level this fast.
Yeah, and we'll kind of see when we look at some of these tools how amazing some of the things they can do. And we all know this, marketers can get blinded by the latest shiny new tools out there, right? And I know that you guys believe strongly in the power of AI for helping marketers, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But in the midst of all this change and disruption from AI, I mean, what is your one tip for marketers? What do you want them to sort of keep in mind when we're in all this frenzy here?
Yeah, it's easy to get distracted. I think that, one thing that we're pretty fond of saying is that, look, you're probably not going to have to worry about something like AI replacing your job, but you do need to worry about, marketers that use AI will definitely outpace those who don't. So regardless of what you do and kind of your perspective on this, you do need to experiment with it. You do need to get started. And as we're going to kind of talk about, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to start understanding some of these tools and how they can help you work. And you're going to have to. So it's not something to be afraid of. It's just something to prioritize.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, like I was like, I don't need to do like what do I need all this for? But as I started jumping into some of these tools and going through them, and you just have to take the time or give your team the time to experiment and see how you could possibly use them. But it's pretty amazing. So let's get started here. Let's start with one of your very first tools that you are talking about today is Writer. So let me pop this up here. So why do you like this tool?
Yeah, so Writer at writer.com is a generative AI platform for language. So it's one of the many tools out there that can actually create content, summarize content. It can help you essentially be a co-pilot to your own writing work. It can turn pieces of content into reusable templates. It can standardize your language and style across your teams and do all sorts of really neat things that help content teams do better work. And one of the reasons we really like Writer, there's plenty of tools out there that do that will generate content for you. But a couple unique things in our opinion about something like Writer is first, it's designed for teams. So from the ground up, this tool is much more robust in the ability to collaborate with others, to work on projects jointly, and to do all of the really cool generative AI things you'd be able to do with some other technology, but at a team level in a really professional setting. So that's a really, really big selling point in our opinion. What's also really interesting is it's actually built with enterprise grade features. So you don't have to be an enterprise or have really deep pockets to use it, but it is built from the ground up to be very secure, to comply with a lot of industries that have pretty strict regulatory rules and requirements. So that's always good, especially if you're in, say, like healthcare. There's a lot of restrictions you do need to follow that some of the other generative AI tools probably aren't as robust in following. Also, it can actually do custom models. So you can actually work with Writer to train its language models on your own company and your own brand's language. So this doesn't have to be a one size fits all tool. You can actually work with the company to fine tune the language models that power the platform on how you specifically talk about things, say things, and what language you use. So that's also another really powerful selling point here.
Yeah, it was, I was trying to remember what I did with this one. So I was, trying to find, writing something about content marketing world, I think a call for speakers. So, and I think I showed you earlier, you can just kind of type in what you want to, here's my blog post, keywords, CTA, and it just pops it up for you.
Yeah, so for anyone who is unfamiliar with these kind of what we would call generative AI tools, these will just literally from scratch in minutes or seconds will actually write content for you. They will fill in sentences. They will help you write your next paragraph. They can also, create things like social shares is really helpful as well. They can help you outline content and have a human writer take it over.
Yeah, and so it's got advertising, marketing. So, if you just push notifications, like just going in there to experiment and see how you use it. And it didn't take me long to go in and mess around with it. So
it's probably worth saying too to people, we're not talking about like, okay, click a button and have Writer or any other tool just necessarily write everything for you. I mean, you have to have humans at every part of this process. That's the best way to do it because you do have to check for factual issues, make sure it's compliant. So we're not at any point, talking about like, use this tool so you don't have to hire a writer. It's more use this tool to take the great writers you already have and scale up what impact they can have.
And someone was asking if it's free. Yes, like you can start a free account and mess around with it. But I think like the more advanced, like you were talking about training the AI, I think you have to pay for that. So there are paid options. But just to go in and see if it's something that you would use, it's free to go in and do that.
Yeah, I would say that most of these tools should have, at the very least, free trials, unless they're, really customized tools or enterprise focused. So, yeah, you definitely should be able to try out. Writer has the free trial, and some of the other ones we'll talk about too as well.
And Andy says they also have Writer has a very helpful Slack community. So that's good to know if you ever run into problems or have questions for the community. All right, the next one we are going to chat about is called Go Charlie. Let me pop it up here. Why do you like this tool?
So Go Charlie is an AI content creation tool. So, whereas Writer is probably more for doing larger scale content marketing across teams, Go Charlie is a really simple, kind of affordable option to generate everything from advertising copy to blog post outlines to summaries. Couple reasons that we do really like it is not only can you do all of these AI content creation use cases, but it can actually really help you take what you've already got and turn it into more valuable assets. So Go Charlie can actually take content you already have and create social posts from it. It can rewrite existing content. It can summarize content. It has some image generation baked in as well. So if you don't want to get a separate tool for that, you can actually start prompting the system to generate images from scratch that you could use, say, in a blog post or a social share. It will turn images into alt text, and it actually also summarizes YouTube videos. So if you drop a link in to Go Charlie, it can attempt to summarize the video that you're looking at. So there's a lot of really interesting, not only generative, use cases here, but repurposing what you already have. And we just like it because it's really easy to use, pretty straightforward and affordable. And also what's really cool is that it has, excuse me, it has no monthly limits. So some of these tools will allow you only to generate a certain number of words or tokens per month. Go Charlie, you could literally, with a pretty basic account, I think, generate millions of words a month if you wanted to.
Yeah, so I just dumped in our content marketing world promotional video from YouTube, and I wanted some LinkedIn social posts, and so I popped that in there, and it, just gave me a bunch of different options. And like Mike and I were talking about off camera, it just gives you like how many times do we write? We probably write promotions for content marketing world, so it's a good option to kind of dump it into the system and sort of get some ideas on how else we might be able to promote it, especially if we have a blank, drawing a blank.
Yeah, I'd really encourage people listening as we're kind of going through these. There's very valid criticisms of these tools that, like, okay, the blog post it's going to write for you isn't going to be publish ready without you doing some work on it. But just think of all the ways that these capabilities can just speed up and augment your current workflow. So there's a lot of different ways where, even something as small as like the YouTube summary or creating alt text for an image, just think about all the steps of your content marketing workflow. I guarantee you there are individual parts of your workflow that can be essentially just automated or augmented with AI. Again, not replacing you or the people that do this work, but just dramatically speed up what you're already doing.
Yeah, I like the TikTok brainstorm ideas. I don't know if I can repeat around with that, but yeah, you need to create a TikTok idea, jump in there and see what it comes up with for you on Go Charlie. So yeah, that one was a good one too. All right, what are people asking questions? URL, yes. Web-based, yes. Most of these are they in English only? This one.
So that's one I guess you would have to assess on a tool by tool basis. I don't quote me on this, but I'm 95% sure Writer is in dozens of different languages. I don't know about Go Charlie, but the cool thing with a lot of these language models is that they do often work in other languages. Like the way that the model itself works, there's often these language models that, though they may have initially been trained on English, they can actually be used in other contexts as well. But that's definitely going to be case by case depending on what model the tool is using. So again, I think Writer does. Go Charlie, I'd have to double check on.
Yeah, it looks like it. You can do an input language and an output language. So you can do both here. So whatever you want to, input it in, and then what do you want it to output? So
yeah,
that's a good option as well. Are all of these based on GPT-3 and their factual knowledge ends sometime in 2021? Do you know that?
Yeah, so that is correct that one of the big language models, GPT-3, or at least ChatGPT, is not trained on information after 2021. So yeah, you do want to be careful of that. Honestly, I don't know. There's a handful of large language models that these tools typically run on. Some companies build their own, so it's going to be case by case. There are newer ones coming out or newer use cases for them where they are up to date and trying to actually reference factual information. But at the end of the day, the factual piece of this is really a big area where a human needs to be involved, because even if they are trained on current information, they're still just making predictions about what words, what language sounds right and comes next. So you'll hear about this problem with language models that they call hallucination, where it just makes stuff up. So you definitely need to, and it sounds really good. It's very confident about its accuracy. So you definitely do need to check everything. It probably today is not the best. It's not a best practice to be not factually checking the output. I think that could change. These are rapidly improving. So don't quote me 6 months from now, but today you definitely need to be viewing this as essentially as if a human submitted it to your brand, right? So you have to check everything, make sure it's all legit, all the sources are good. So
all right, so if you're joining us, we've gone through 2 tools already, Writer and Go Charlie. We'd love to hear from you. Are there AI tools that you're experimenting with right now, or ones that you've already incorporated in your workflow, and how is that working out for you? We'd love to hear that as well. All right, so the final one we are going to talk about today is Visla. So what do you like about this one?
So the past 2 tools we've talked about have been largely for generating language. Visla is really cool because it is actually an AI video storytelling tool. So it does many different use cases related to video creation and production, and especially is using AI to actually generate video. Now, again, like any content we'd be generating, it's not perfect, but it's really interesting when you can start giving a machine text prompts and start getting video outputs back. And it also is using artificial intelligence to aid all sorts of aspects of video creation, editing, recording, and collaboration. So if you are not like myself, if you are not a pro videographer, you can use a tool like this to actually get really, really close to professional results without a lot of background knowledge. So, tools like a Visla have saved us a lot of time and money that we would have otherwise spent, I think, on, hiring a high-end video producer to do really basic things that we just don't know how to do in-house. We still hire those people for really great videos and creative outputs, but things that they probably hate doing on their own, just don't do them for, right? So it's a really, really helpful tool if you do anything related to video.
So obviously I'm our video person here at CMI, so I really enjoyed this tool. So and yes, like Mike said, there are certain things that when you're editing videos you aren't as fun and just like time consuming, but this I literally typed in, my prompt was like how to teach marketers about AI, and it gave me this entire 7-second video. I think you probably can't hear it. I think it had
AI is
oh, it's not 7 seconds. It's 1:55. Sorry. It has music. It has video clips, everything here. And you can change the script for each different scene. You can change the music. If you don't like the voiceover text, you can record your own voiceover. So it was pretty, I was pretty amazed by, you can change the screen, whatever video you want to use. I mean, this is, if video, which everyone talks about, everybody needs to be creating videos now. This is a pretty impressive tool. If you have no other resources, if you don't have an editor, you don't have a producer, you don't have a videographer, this was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's also, even if you think about even just getting ideas, even if you don't use a single clip creates, it can give you really.
It's exemplified with M&Ms and their return of the spokes candies.
So
it was set up perfectly.
I dumped in one of our newses, and it gives you a Robert Rose's weekly news, and I could get a transcript. I can cut it. I can cut clips from it. Put a call to action. So add a voiceover. So I could put it together and add a voiceover to it. So there's a lot of, it lets you, I didn't experiment with screen capture, or I probably shouldn't have done that. Cancel. You can download the screen capture or use your camera as well. But this is a great tool if you need to create videos and don't have a lot of resources. Is the video content approved to use for commercial use? I would assume it is if it's on the tool.
Yeah, I would check. You always want to, with some of the newer tools that come out from, like, say, like an OpenAI that's kind of releasing things sometimes that are non-commercial, you'd always want to check the terms of service. But tools like this, they're designed for you to use this in a commercial context.
Let's see if these are any. Yeah, most of them have a free. Yeah, down here, this one's like a 50-minute monthly publish time. And then if you want more, you have to pay to upgrade to their service. But I mean, just to try it out and see if it's something that you even need or could use.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because you do have to, I mean, it's a little messy, but you do have to experiment. Like you probably don't want to just try one AI writing tool or AI video tool, though these are some of the better ones in our opinion, but you want try like 5 of them, see which ones work for you and your team, because the outputs can vary wildly. I wish there were an easier way to do it, but you do have to put in some time and energy to actually figure out which of these tools are tailored to your preferences, your use cases, and how your team works.
Yeah, and like that's what I said. Like, and not just you just have to give your team time to even see if it's something that that you could use and would help your workflow. So yeah, I think that's all the questions that we have for the videos. Well, Mike, I know this was great, and I really enjoyed all these, and I'm glad that I did the live stream. So it pushed me to actually like experiment with them. So I'm very happy about that. But I know you guys are very busy over at the Marketing AI Institute. So you want to talk about some of the things that you have coming up?
Sure. So I would say first go to marketingaiinstitute.com. We've got a bunch of things that, depending where you're kind of at in your learning journey. So if you go under education on our site, we have a free intro to AI for marketers class that happens every few weeks. It's a live class. If you're just getting started, there's no better way to really quickly get up to speed. If you're kind of ready to take the next step and you're really starting to actively deploy this technology, I would say definitely consider our paid Piloting AI for Marketers course. It basically takes you A to Z, everything that you need to actually start using the technology today. And then finally, I'd say we've got a few different events that are worth checking out throughout the year. We have, for every content marketer in here, I would highly recommend you check out our AI for Writers Summit. It's very clearly just under events on our website. This is a virtual event on March 30th. And really, we're bringing together some of the best people in the industry to actually talk through how AI is going to impact writing and writing careers and content careers. So there's a free registration option, so you don't have to pay if you share your information with the sponsor. And it's honestly going to be a really interesting and valuable industry conversation about exactly how AI is going to affect all of us. So I would highly recommend under events going to the AI for Writers Summit and check that out.
Yeah, you guys have a lot going on. So if anybody wants to know anything about AI and marketing, I would definitely let me get rid of this. Check out what they're doing over there. So thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule these days to chat with us and show us these awesome tools. Thank you to all of you for joining us today. I know people are asking for the URLs. People have been dropping them into the comment section. I'll post them again when I jump out of the live stream, so you have them up there in the description. That might be easier for you all to find them. So everyone says thank you. So helpful, Mike. Very helpful for all of us. I appreciate it. Until next time, everyone. See you. Have a good day, Mike.